This is the SwishWire podcast.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the SwishWire podcast. It's your host, Ian, and I got my co-host, Justin.
Yeah, what's up?
And we got Jay here, too.
What's good?
Yo, today we got two very special dudes from Eastern Washington. We got lockdown defender and Michael Meadows, and we got one of the best bigs in the area, and Kim Aiken Jr. Say what's up, boys.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Happy to have you.
They got a big game coming up against Kansas on Saturday, so hope they well prepared for that. It's gonna be a lot of work. But anyways, we're just gonna get started right off into our individual question segment. So this one's for you, Kim. So back in high school, you were averaging 25 and 12, and you were selected to the first team All San Bernardino area for joining Eastern Washington. What made you redshirt in your freshman year?
It was really a coach's decision. Actually, coming in, I had a guy, Bogdan Bliznik. He was averaging like a certain amount of points that made him obviously that scoring leader on the team. He was the MVP of that year. So if it wasn't for me redshirting and playing behind him, I probably wouldn't have learned. So that coach's decision for me having the just redshirt freshman year definitely did a justice for me, because the dude he finished college averaging 2,000 something points, and he's the all-time scorer. So that was definitely probably a go-to that I was going to have to do anyway. Regardless, there was no way I was going to get playing time.
That's wild. That's wild, bro. While you were behind him, what did you add to your game that helped you into next year?
Guarding him, because obviously he's a scorer, so having to just go out there and guard him every day in practice, being on the scout team, it just made it that much easier for me nowadays to go out and guard the other team score, because I know how they want to score pretty in a way. You just got to figure out their tendencies and then just lock them down. It's more of a Michael Meadows thing now, but I just try to copy him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bro. I know exactly what it's like, because like in my high school, I was sort of like, I wasn't playing much because we had one of the best bigs in the country, and Jeff Woodward on my team. He's like 7 foot 290. So just like learning how to guard him. Yeah, he's a big dude. Learning how to guard him, it like made me lock down on everybody, because like if like 7 foot 290 can't score on me, then who can, you know?
Where's he at now? Where's he at now?
He's playing at Colgate. We're actually going to have him on the show later this week, so it's going to be exciting to get back to yelling at him again.
For you, Mike, you've stated that you take accountability as a vocal leader, which is a tremendous trait to have in any player. And considering that you're a sophomore, that makes it even more impressive. So what goes into being a leader with mental toughness and confidence?
Yeah, man. I mean, exactly what you said, starting with those two things, but it also takes a great group of guys. We got a great team, man, who just really wants to win. And I feel like vocally, my job is to just keep us poised and calm at times, because we are still a young team. So emotions run high, especially in the postseason. Like times right now, it's really big for me to make sure we're just staying connected as a team and, stay within, each other, and trust that what we've worked on thus far is, going to bring us to where we need to be, which it has so far.
Mm-hmm. And, to have a leader like on your team, that's perfect. I mean, you guys, like I've seen, you guys have a great culture, which is a big reason to your guys' success. So, Kim, we already talked about your redshirt freshman year for a little bit, and, you said that did a lot for you. So the next year you were quite literally thrown into the fire against two top 25 teams in Syracuse and Oregon. So what was it like to step onto the college court for the first time against such good opponents?
Really nerve-wracking. Like, I'm just coming out of, obviously I've been in college for a year, never actually, like you said, just stepping onto a huge stage like that. I think Oregon was top 25 in the country at that time. And they had Bull on their team, Peyton Pritchard. So that one was just that game was tough. Even the Syracuse game. I don't even remember the score. It was a very low scoring game. Both teams in the first half couldn't really score. Syracuse got away from us in the second half, and they had like O'Shea Brissett and stuff like that. He's in the G League, so both teams had guys on their team, and that was a little tough.
Were you on bowl during that game?
No, I forget who I was on, but I was having to help. I was all over the court we were just trying to do everything defensively, trying to stop the man. So he was going around spinning, dunking on my teammates. It was crazy.
Wow, man's a unicorn.
Do you think that
much.
do you think that, being thrown into the fire right away was something that, like looking back on it, like it was good for you?
Absolutely, because now, you go into the next year, you've learned from that year. Now you go into the next year knowing what you're going to get in the preseason, and that's really high quality games against high quality people and players, coaching staff. So it's just it was a great learning experience that redshirt freshman year playing.
Yeah, for you, Mike, you attended Campbell Hall High School in Hollywood, which is home of the Holiday brothers. They've all been big contributors in the NBA. So what's one thing that you learned or picked up and added to your game while you were there?
Man, honestly, it was just my work ethic, man. Those guys do a good job of staying involved in the community, and they come back and they work out in the gym to this day, And, Campbell Hall's it's not a lot of students. It's a private school. So, everyone's, again, really connected and stuff. So when those guys come back and to be able to watch them work up close and personal was a big deal for me. That's when it, like, my sophomore year really clicked, like, oh, this is what it takes to be that good. And, following in the footsteps of guys like that at a great, high school as far as basketball tradition goes, that was big for me. It's pressure, but it's good pressure. It's a lot of, it makes me more competitive to want to be my best at all times. And that's what it did.
Have you ever had a conversation with them before?
Yeah, mostly Justin and Aaron, because my freshman year actually in high school, I went to Buckley High School and I transferred to Campbell Hall for my sophomore year. And so when I transferred, we had lost to Aaron Holiday and Campbell Hall in the playoffs, actually. Okay. My freshman year, I was able to be on varsity and start and stuff. And we played against them and we lost. And then over the offseason, he actually gave me a call. And he was just telling me how good he thinks I can be and that Campbell Hall would be a good place for me. So he actually, played a role in me going to Campbell Hall. Aaron did.
Damn, that's awesome.
Have they ever, because, I see you're a great defender, and, those two, they're leaders too, from everything I've seen. So have they ever helped you out on anything in your game?
Yeah, they always give me little pointers whenever I, see them or get a chance to speak to them. They just really preach tendencies and watching film and studying your opponent the best they can, and they're two of the best at it, especially Drew.
All right, moving on. Another one for you, Kim. So, it's pretty clear you're pretty good at basketball, but you have other tastes, especially in politics. An interview a couple of years ago mentioned that you had aspirations for California politics and eventually went into the U.S. Senate. What brought that on for you?
Just growing up and viewing I grew up in Long Beach, California, and not literally on the beach. I grew up more in the ghetto. So just from a young, rough experience, it's dang, I've witnessed everything that's happened. And with education, and me going to college, I feel like I can help people in the community and go out there and try to be the voice that they can't have, they don't have, because people aren't going to necessarily listen to them because of where they're from. And if basketball can give me the opportunity to head and lead into politics, and then politics can help me give back to that community, then that's what I'm going to do, because that's what I've been embedded in it since I was a little kid. And my dad also worked for the city of Long Beach. So that's also where a little bit of social work comes into play.
That's a great thing to hear. You're trying to give back to your community. And It's like not everyone has a voice. Not everyone's voices are equally heard. Like our system.
It's definitely not all. Nothing's equal nowadays, and I feel like the only way to do that is through politics. Obviously, there's you can use money, but politics is also a great way to be heard.
I was speaking of the Senate. You would think that you being 6'7", that you'd be the tallest U.S. senator, right? But there's actually someone who was much taller than you who ended up taking a Senate seat. That's Luther Strange. He was 6'9". Are you surprised to hear you're not even the biggest? You're not even the biggest guy in the Senate.
Yeah, honestly, I thought only the tallest person was Abraham Lincoln. I didn't know everyone was like above 6 foot. So
I heard Lincoln was a hooper. A nasty crossover, bro.
Man.
All right, so Mike, it's clear that basketball runs in your blood. Your father, Michael Meadows Sr., he played D1 basketball, and then he played overseas for the rest of his career. So how big of an impact has he had on your career, and what have you learned from him?
Yeah, man, that's truly my best friend. I talk to my dad every single day, multiple times a day. We talk about everything. But as far as basketball goes, one thing that I took from his game that I loved was how all around he was, and how he played both sides of the ball. And he was very good. He was a constant professional, from being sometimes not playing to being the best player on the team, just, learning from him and how to handle certain situations that you almost have to experience to understand was a big deal for me. So yeah, that he's helped me more than I could even put into words, man.
When did you guys know that you were legit? Like, can you remember a specific play or moment on the court where you just knew that you belonged there? We'll start with you, Mike.
It was, well, I knew growing up I was pretty good. Like I felt that, I worked hard enough and that I was going to continue to keep getting better. But it really clicked my junior year of high school, I'd say, when I started getting invites to like major camps. Like I was able to attend Pangos All-American camp and then NBPA Top 100 camp. And guys like, I'm walking in the gym and guys like Zion are there. You know what I mean? And so that right there was like, oh yeah, I'm here. Like I just, got to keep getting better and continue to perform. But when you see guys like that in the gym, you see a guy going between his legs and windmilling and all that. In high school, you kind of, you're there. If you don't, you'll get dunked on and then he'll remind you. But yeah, man, that's when I'll say it clicked for me.
What about you, Kim?
Some pretty much around the same time. Mine was about sophomore year. I just got out of the CIF Southern Section Championships playing Compton, and then next thing you know, an AAU team, IEBP, comes and contacts me about playing for their team for that summer, and ever since then, and they've been talking about college, and so that's sophomore. End of sophomore year was it for me.
So, who was the best player you've ever played with outside of your current teammates? It could be AAU, could be high school, could be anything. Kim, we'll start with you.
Like played against or had on my team?
Had on your team, like best teammate.
Man. So I liked Cam Nunley. He was on my AAU team. He was really good. We're both about like the same height, probably a little bigger than me. But he was like, it's hard to describe his game. No, it's not. He was a lefty that'll really get downhill, go into his left and dunk on you. That's how I describe his game. Like he was an athletic lefty.
Who's the
sounds
best
like
player?
Zion.
Yeah.
Hey, for some reason I thought he was right-handed. My fault. I don't even watch Zion like that.
Who's the best player that you played against then, Kim?
KZ Okpala on the Heat.
Yeah.
I love KZ.
Yeah, Justin's
He's
a
one of my
big
guys.
fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's good. Mike, what about you? Who's the best you've ever played with?
Played with, outside of my guys right now, because I'd pick all of them if I could.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I'd have to say, honestly, I'll go way back. I'll go to like middle school. I played, with a bunch of my best friends to this day. I'm sure you guys have heard of Remy Martin. He plays at Arizona State. That's my best friend, man. So I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with Remy.
What about against?
Against, wow. In high school, I'll go with Marvin Bagley, man. We had some battles. One time we played Sierra Can. We were down maybe 6 at halftime. We're feeling good. We're not supposed to be in this game at all. I got like 22 at half. I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like 7. So I'm like, yeah, we're killing this dude, right? Comes out, this dude scores 35 points in the second half. We lose by 25.
Oh,
Damn.
That hurt.
That's rough.
That stinks.
That's the top 3 pick in the NBA draft right there. That moment right there sticks with me. So I'll go with Marvin.
That stinks.
Word. That's rough, man.
Yeah, man.
You got a 30 piece on your dome in one half, bro.
And I mean, I'm like 6'2" on a great day. So I mean, he's 6'10", 6'11", shooting threes, dribbling in high school, So it's no way. But yeah, man, I'll say Marvin.
Anyways, I mean, both of you guys have like super different play styles. Like Kim, you're like battling inside, spacing it out sometimes, and Michael, like you're just a lockdown defender, getting teammates involved and whatnot. So I'm gonna start off with Kim. I mean, what are some players that you molded your game after on the court?
Right now I'm kind of liking Kawhi. Like I'm really a fan of his game. Like you said, he can get inside, bang down low with bigger guys, take it outside, and create stuff off the dribble. So Kawhi Leonard for sure, and he's from the same area where I'm from. I see no reason why Kawhi Leonard couldn't be like I can't be like Kawhi in the future.
I saw a lot of Kawhi in you also, and I also saw some Paul Millsap too, just getting in there, backing guys down. And you guys are built the same too. Yeah, you guys are you guys are built like giants. So that's what I would thought of first.
I was gonna say Rui Hachimura because he kind of plays like Kawhi too. He always bangs down low.
Yeah,
he can stretch it a little bit.
Paul's like the first thing that came to my mind because I mean, like I was like thinking about you guys defensively, how solid both of you guys are.
Yeah. That Paul one I've heard in high school before.
Yeah,
not the first time.
I don't think Paul's ever been young. He's always been 40, bro.
Man.
Anyways, Mike, how about you? Who do you shape your game after?
I mean, that's a tough one because I like a lot of guys. My favorite player is Stephen Curry, but guys who I would say like that I look at and they're obviously bigger, guys, but they're just their play style. I love Dwayne Wade and Penny Hardaway.
Penny's a good one.
Yeah, man, he was always one of my favorites. Just looking back, because I obviously was not, old enough to really watch him, but just the way he approached the game from an all-around aspect. It's not just scoring. It's not just playing defense. It's getting guys involved, rebounding, anything he could. So I'll say those two.
From that standpoint, like getting guys involved, mentality and everything like that, like from what I read and what you're talking about right now, like you remind me a lot of a guy like Jimmy Butler from that standpoint. Just like all that mental toughness and confidence that he puts in guys, like I see it right in that.
Yeah, man. It's about, as far as mental toughness goes, I think it's about thinking the game. Not a lot of people can think and play at the same time, believe it or not, even at our level. So I really pride myself on that and being able to really calm down, relax, and think, okay, Kim hasn't gotten a shot in 2 minutes. He's, arguably our best shooter. So let's get him a touch. Let's get him the ball in a spot where he can score. Or Tanner, has a mismatch. Let's find the best way to get him the ball and space out. So that's where that comes into play.
It's clear that you guys are all close. We see the culture that you guys have built, especially this season, I would say. How big of a role does the culture at your school play into your success?
It plays a huge part because, you don't want to play with a bunch of guys, like selfish guys. We're super unselfish. We all hang out together. And we just do a lot of our outside activities together, like going to the mall, shopping and stuff. So it's not shopping like we're girls either. We go in there, we try to get phone numbers, looking at shoes and
Not
stuff like
me.
dude stuff.
Not me. Kobe, not me. I know.
Hey,
I know
my
you're gonna
fault. Hey,
spit.
wait.
Kobe, not me.
All right.
He's talking about him.
He's taken. I'm single, so that's what I'm saying. We just hang out with each other, like we're really bros. And then when we get on the court, we compete, but we still, we love each other still. And we just all want the best, and we want to win.
Yeah.
Man, we do a good job of. We pride ourselves on 3 pillars as a team, and that's family, trust, commitment, man. And we really, really do embody those, and on and off the court at all times. And I think that correlates to winning. Honestly, I've played on teams who can't stand each other, and I've played on teams who love each other. And every dude on this team genuinely does care for the other, whether it's if they need something off the court or maybe some help in a class or something. It's we're there for each other no matter what, for sure.
That's awesome.
And
it's great to see that house you built.
We see teams all the time with cultures, they go far. Like the Heat, they were underdogs. Like, as I mentioned before, Jimmy Butler, he got them into it. They were underdogs, and they made it all the way. So, segueing into another topic, speaking of that, you're in the tournament, and you guys play Kansas on Saturday. And Kansas, they're one of the favorites to win the whole tournament. So, going into this game, does them being the favorite, does that faze you guys, or are you guys unbothered about that? Mike, we'll start with you.
The thing I love about our team is that we are all underdogs, and we always have been, all of us. So this isn't necessarily a new thing for us being, not necessarily the favorite. So I think, we're going to silently just work hard, stay humble and hungry, and, we'll go out there and play our hardest, and you never know what can happen. It's March, man.
Mm-hmm. Kim, you feel the same way?
Definitely. Like you said, it's March, man. They've had 31 NCAA appearances. A lot of it came from way back when, but other than that, it's a new day and age. A lot teams now can beat teams, and I feel like we have an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been 6 years since you guys have been there. It's only your 3rd trip to the NCAA tournament in your school's history. I'm speaking of your underdog mentality. I mean, you guys have given really big schools a run for their money during the season. Washington State, St. Mary's, and Arizona. I mean, how do you think that transfers into the tournament? How does that make you guys the next potential Cinderella team going into it? How are you guys gonna plan to play against Kansas?
Just going out there and playing. That's basically what we did in the preseason. We just played. That wasn't thinking. They gonna have a Jayhawk across their chest, but other than that, like I said, you can go out there and beat anybody now, especially with neutral fans, neutral site. It's just more the merrier for us.
Or how you feel, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of on and off injured throughout the entire preseason, which, I really wanted to be out there with my guys. But just watching actually taught me a lot, man. It just seeing how confident we were, even being the underdog. Not a lot of people struggle with that confidence the whole time. But once we're out there, it's a basketball and 2 hoops, and we all got to play. So, we just got to stick with the game plan and stick with our pillars of family, trust, commitment, man, and I think we'll be okay.
For you, Kim, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received that you could also give to someone else?
Controlling your controllables. And basically, so we had a little situation this morning with breakfast not being here on time, but it's just everyone stay calm. It's gonna come. You just don't try to get so rushed and frustrated because, oh my God, breakfast wasn't here then and there. It's gonna come. Just relax and just keep going about your day. Don't let the little things bother you.
That's good to hear.
It's not like
there's a lot of people don't have patience nowadays.
Exactly. You want to stay calm. Like once you start getting riled up, then you start getting mad like the Hulk, and then things turn bad.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
One thing my dad always told me was know it and show it. And we gotta always believe that we belong. I think that's the thing. Like with teams like us who are one big league, we go win Big Sky tournament, and then a lot of teams or people don't know us necessarily, but it's our job to still go out there and show who we are and, prove that we belong on this stage, in which we earned it, and we definitely do.
All right, so now we're going to segue back into individual questions. This time, it's going to be about training tips, how you guys develop some skills of your games. So, Mike, we're going to start with you. You're an elite defender who's a pest for the opposition's offense. So, what have you done to enhance your defense and become such a good defender?
Right. As far as, defending and a training aspect, a lot of the weight room, I work on my lower body and stuff like that. But it's attention to detail, man. You got to really be able to watch a player and be able to pick his game apart and understand what he wants to do. There's very few players who can do absolutely everything very well. You know what I mean? And if you find those guys, they're probably in the NBA. So, you got to try to find weaknesses and do your best to expose them and then stick to it. Sometimes a guy's going to score on you with his left hand. It's Division I basketball, but he's less efficient going that way. So you want to keep him going that way. So just stuff like that, man, just staying locked in on that and then communicating that with my teammates and making sure that we're all on the same page and moving together on a string.
So for you, Kim, you averaged a career high 9.7 rebounds per game last season, which broke the Eastern Washington D1 record. What do you attribute your elite rebounding to, and how do you work on your rebounding each and every day as a skill?
I actually had one of our ex-coaches' father give me some Dennis Rodman clips on him rebounding, and then shoot, he even explained it in the Last Dance episodes. You just got to time the ball when it's coming off that rim. It's put yourself in the right position to go get the ball, because if you're just standing underneath the hoop, that's going to be tough for you to get rebounds because you're basically getting pushed under with another defender on you, and that's just an advantage for him. So speaking on that, that's something I would do to someone else. But really it's just finding which way the ball is going to come off. It may be hard sometimes, but once you know who on your team and once you know the player on your team and where he likes to shoot and knows how he shoots, you'll figure out where the ball is going to come off every time. Just put yourself in that position. You have to study it, but it's still fun to get rebounds.
And, you saying that, it's just like some people just go down there, expect to get a rebound, but I mean, like you calculate it, like you watch film, you do all that. And, speaking of that, you're renowned for your work ethic. You're known for all this. You watch film and, it's clear in your game how hard you work. But what is invisible is the time and the hours that you've put into developing your game. You're up at 6 a.m. and you stay home after every game to get some more shots up. So have you always had this drive, or is it just something that clicked for you one day and you wanted just to get better?
Definitely to get better. It started in high school. Over the weekends, I really would be just at home and just sitting down, like start of freshman year, and then realize like that's not what I really want to do. So I'll just walk to the YMCA and just be there from noon to when they close, and I was about 6. So it was really just not trying to be lazy. That's really because that's a killer. Once you start being lazy, it's just all downhill from there. So trying to stay active was definitely a big part of why I just continue to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then our final training question, this one's for you, Michael, to finish this up. So like as stated before, I mean, like we said it so many times for this pod, you're just an amazing leader. It's an essential quality of every single team. I mean, did this all come to you naturally, or is it something you had to develop over time? And do you have any advice for anyone who's trying to be a better leader for their team?
Right. I mean, I think that the guys around me help me develop it, honestly. I mean, I've always been kind of an outspoken guy. If I see something that I feel like could go wrong or will go wrong, I'm going to speak up about it. I'm not shy at all. But, being around the guys that I have, they allow me to do that. If I had a bunch of teammates who were jerks, they would blow me off and I would stop talking. But, they value what I say. They know the work that I put in. So they trust that. And, we run with it. And same with Kim. Kim is a great leader too. So we kind of work together in that aspect. We make sure our team's always ready to go and we're high energy and we're always talking to each other and, trusting and staying confident within each other and kind of blocking out the outside noise. And for anybody who's trying to find a way to lead their team, I would just say keep at it. It's not like something that happens over a day. You can't just decide, I'm going to lead today. It's an everyday and day in and day out type of thing. You have to do it when everything's going good and when everything's going bad. This year we had a chance to win regular season league as well, and we lost. The next day we all could have came in and been like, all hope is lost. And with this year, you have to play teams back to back. So we had a day off, and then we had another game. That day off, we went really hard at practice, man. And it was high energy. And a big part of that was me and Kim, making sure that everyone was ready to go and locked in, man. So I would just say do it every day and, stand by it. Stand by it. Practice what you preach, basically.
So, like, when it comes to, like, all of this, to, like, getting your teammates involved and whatnot, does, like, COVID make that more difficult to do stuff off the court?
Yeah, just because you can't go do as much, So you got to find ways around that. Our team actually did a great job of Zoom a lot, especially before we could get in the gym, like way back before season, could start. So, you got to find ways, man, however you can.
Yeah, I got a couple fun questions for you guys. I'll start with you, Kim. Who is your NBA GOAT?
Snap. Come
on, man.
You I know, but I got a lot of them. I'm just scouts. All right, I'm going MJ.
Thank
How
you.
about that?
There
All right, there you go.
I'm a LeBron guy, man.
That's
I'm an
That's
MJ
hard
guy.
to
I
hear.
respect that. I respect that.
Do you think LeBron can pass MJ, or do you think it's over? There's no way.
No, he definitely has a chance. I think he has probably like 2-3 more years. That man can probably go for as long as he wants. With his, I ain't trying to like. He's built different, so he can probably keep going.
Yeah.
He could definitely pass him, but for right now, it's still MJ.
I think you had the same pick, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, come on, man.
What about 2 more rings and all-time scoring leader? How would that?
Bro, you can't beat Jordan, bro. He's like on a different level from everyone else, man.
It's really tough. If LeBron does that, then it becomes really hard.
That becomes really hard.
Right now, I don't think it's a question, man. When you look at Michael Jordan's body of work, and then you got to factor in he was in college for 3 years. So he didn't have those 3 years in the NBA. Really, he only played 13 seasons and he retired, more times than most people do. So, I mean, and then we can even think he came back when he was 40 years old and averaged 20 a game. There's there's nobody really doing that. And that's without, the body the technology you have to take care of your body that we have today. I think if he had that, it would really be out of, it'd be way out of the question.
Surprisingly enough, you guys are the first two, I'm pretty sure, that because we ask this question quite frequently, you guys are the first two from the ones that I've been on that have said Jordan. LeBron's been the most popular answer, and we had
some Kobe's.
Yeah, Maceo Teague from Baylor said Kobe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Kobe either. I mean, just the impact he's had on basketball. I mean, we see that, especially today. So you can't go wrong there either.
I think I might be wrong, but I think we got a KD too one time.
Oh yeah, with someone said KD. That was wild.
He said his favorite player, not the greatest. He said his favorite.
That's a favorite.
All right, who's your guys' finals pick? Who do you think is going to meet in the finals this year? We'll start with you, Mike.
I wish you asked me this after the trade deadline, but right now, I'll go Clippers in Brooklyn. I'll do that.
Ooh.
A lot of people gonna be mad at me for the Lakers, but I'm gonna say the Clippers in Brooklyn because I think the Clippers are gonna get a point guard at the trade deadline.
I don't think it's too smart to get to bet against Braun though.
No, it never is. That's why people are gonna be mad at me, but I don't care.
But you gotta have fun. You gotta
played a risky game. You played a risky game, bro.
Yeah, come on, man. I love it. Look at Kim's face. He's stuck. But then he just told you his favorite player is Kawhi, so he's got to pick Kawhi, right? You would think.
Let's hear it, Kim.
Man, this is why we family, because I got Clippers in Brooklyn too. Like how hard is that? It's not that hard, Like he's talking about the Clippers, their record may not show it, but they're still a really good team. And once the playoffs hit, that's a whole different season, So they can come out with a crazy mentality and just start sweeping teams. And then when that finals hit, that's when they're gonna meet Brooklyn.
And it's not like they have like the billboards, like they're on all the billboards, like this is the team of LA, like these are the contenders. Like now it's the Lakers, so I mean they're not in that spotlight, which should help.
I think the Lakers still. I'm a big LeBron guy. I'm a little biased.
But
if the Clippers,
the Clippers finally got that
mess around,
mentality.
Yeah, if the Clippers mess around and get Russ on that team somehow, then they'd make the finals. I think.
I think they're about to get a point guard. I really
Yeah.
do. I think that's a game changer for them because they kind of missed that big leader. What we've been talking about. I feel like the big vocal leader. I mean, they got a lot of guys who lead by example. It looks like. And then not a lot of people are talking about him because of what happened last year. So I think that's good for them.
They could really use Chris Paul again right now. They really could.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere though. That Suns
he's not
team's
leaving
on
the
fire.
Suns.
Oh yeah.
All right, and what about your MVP picks for this year? This is a year for me and like personally where it's kind of hard to just pinpoint one guy. So who would you guys say is the MVP? We'll start with you, Kim.
Last time I heard, they were talking about Joel. I personally wouldn't. Shoot, my MVP pick. What's this? The Joker. I'll pick the Joker.
Yeah,
I agree.
A good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin's a big Joker fan.
You say I agree.
I've been saying that all year.
What about you, Mike?
I think your guy's gonna get it, man. I think LeBron's gonna get it.
Hey, that's good.
But I want Chris Paul to be in the conversation though,
Me
just
too.
because of the turnaround that team has had. And I know they got it rolling in the bubble, but I think he should be in the conversation. But
And Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
as of late has played really well.
Right. I know he's just coming back from injury, but I think CP3 and Braun for sure are up
I
there.
like those picks.
I already said Jokic was my pick, but I mean, like, with Embiid out, I could see, like, Harden or Jimmy getting in that conversation.
Giannis. I'm sorry.
And
Giannis is
just
not going to win
that's my
MVP
nasty
again.
cough. My guy's averaging.
I'm a Warrior
putting up
fan.
35, 13, and 8, and no one's talking about it.
Right. And I feel the same way about my guy, Steph. That's my guy. And I know the Warriors are struggling. No Clay. It's tough right now, but he's killing, man. He
is.
Yeah, and I think if Washington continues to get in the playoff picture, Bradley Beal is going to be in there.
I'm a Wizards fan, so I love
If they
that.
continue-
Ooh, that's spicy.
If they keep climbing them standings, I think Brad Beal will be in the conversation.
It's because
Not
Russell
necessarily winning.
Westbrook is playing out of his mind lately.
Come on.
Yeah, that too.
Come on.
I'm a huge Russ fan. I love Russell Westbrook, but they hate on me for it because they think he's washed up. But
He's
tell
not
him,
washed.
Tell him, you guys are ballers. He's
not washed. He's just not great, man.
He thinks he's the second best player in the league. So I mean,
He's not. He's not.
Yeah,
is
he's
Russell
drunk,
Westbrook
but-
is he a top 10 point guard? Tell me that.
No.
In the NBA today?
In the NBA, is he top 10 point guard?
That's hard, man.
Give him a-
Because there's a lot of point
You're gonna make Jay
guards.
mad, man. You're
There's a lot
gonna
of
make Jay
point
so
guards.
mad.
We can. I mean, I'm gonna say yes, just because in my head right
number
now
10.
I can't think of 10 fast enough. But there's a lot of young point guards too. Got to think about guys like De'Aaron Fox coming up,
Trae Young.
Shea Gilgeous, Trae Young, and then here's what Coach Legs loves to do. is Luka a point guard? Is LeBron their point? You know, so that's hard too. Basketball's kind of.
I think Russ is the second best point guard in the league next to Steph. But they.
That's
yeah,
wild. That is wild. You can't.
I wouldn't
As
say
a Wizards
that.
fan, as a Wizards fan, I highly disagree. He'd be lucky to make top 15. Lucky to make top 15.
Okay, that's just hate.
But I'm
God.
glad we had two very well-headed men on this podcast, especially with that last thing about Russ. But yeah, no, that's the end of this pod with Kim and Mike. You guys can catch them playing against Kansas on Saturday on CBS at 1:15. Good luck to you guys. Best of luck. Hope that you guys can be the Cinderella team, make it all the way to the final. Maybe you never know. I mean, March Madness is crazy, man. But anyways, thank you guys for coming on. And that's peace out from SwishWire. Peace, everybody.
Peace.